My wish, the lover has to keep the wish of the beloved. My wish for my lovers is as follows. 1. Do not shirk your responsibilities. 2. Attend faithfully to your worldly duties, but keep always at the back of your mind that all this is Baba's. 3. When you feel happy, think Baba wants me to be happy. When you suffer, think Baba wants me to suffer. 4. Be resigned to every situation and think honestly and sincerely, Baba has placed me in this situation. With the fifth, with the understanding that Baba is in everyone, try to help and serve others. 6. I say with my divine authority to each and all that whosoever takes my name at the time of breathing his last comes to me. So do not forget to remember me in your last moments. Unless you start remembering me from now on, it will be difficult to remember me when your end approaches. You should start practicing from now on. Even if you take my name only once every day, you will not forget to remember me in your dying moments. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Dar Meher Baba ki jai. So I think now we are continuing with the lovely journey that we are experiencing with Wayfarers. We stopped last at page 161. So let's get to um,
Jai Baba, everyone.
Jai
Ashok,
Baba. How
Karthik,
are
Jai
you?
Baba. Very good, very good.
Jai Baba.
Hey Baba Ashok.
So I think we are almost going to finish this book. I mean, the main textual part of the book is not very heavy. So the
Mhm.
tabulated content and the index is very detailed and takes up much of the bulk of the book. So those of you who have seen the physical book, it's a fairly big book, and overall I think it's more than 400 pages. But the core, the first text, the core text is about 200 pages. So we've done well. I mean, we're almost done with the book. Nice to see you again, Ravi.
Yeah.
So, Ashok, maybe given that you said you're going to maybe have to leave,
I
you
can I
can,
can do for half an hour, no issues. And
yeah, please,
half an hour or whatever time we all can do.
please,
You let
please.
me know when to stop
Sure.
so
No,
that
you
I'll.
tell me when to stop, so you can start now. Um,
Okay.
so we are starting from thus. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai.
Thus, when any must tour has been planned, Baba first chooses his time and then selects a group of disciples to accompany him. A group that is never less than two and often many more than this. He then orders one expert to wit Baidul, Kaka, or Eraj to reconnoiter certain cities or districts, to inquire about, meet, and select likely souls, and to return to him at his base camp before D Day, or meet him on the station of the first town on the projected program. In the account of Chatti Baba in chapter 2, I have described one of these reconnaissance journeys, and although one was perhaps more trying than most, every reconnaissance expedition is done under the pressing hand of time and is a difficult and arduous thing. If you corner Baidul or Kaka in moments of expansiveness and provoke them to describe some of these journeys, you will hear tales of tramping on foot across arid sands, through dark forests or over mountain valley, of riding on camels, mules, ponies, and asses, of bumping over mile after mile of purgatorial tracks in bullock carts and tongas, of enduring nights and days in the dusty and sweaty turmoil of overcrowded third class railway carriages. In short, you will hear of every disease of travel endured in mere preliminary reconnaissance of almost every one of Baba's must tours. These preliminary expeditions are, of course, planned and executed in order to save Baba's valuable time, for musts do not emerge mysteriously from behind every bush, nor are they found docketed and labeled in every city. A good must is a rare jewel, and even Baidul, Kaka, and Erish make errors of judgment in their selection from time to time and produce candidates for Baba's contact who may have a local reputation as great musts, but whom Baba rejects as mad or God mad or as musts of insignificant merits. So much then for the reconnaissance expeditions. And now, what about the 75,000 miles of journeys with Baba and the 20,000 odd contacts for which all these preliminary labors have been endured? I have tried to give an idea of the trials and hardships of the reconnaissance journeys, but these are leisurely and frivolous holidays in comparison with the final tours with Baba when the real work is done. Travel can be fun, and hardships are something stimulating about them if one is allowed to renew one's physical and nervous forces by adequate food and sleep.
If I can pause you there, so there's two metrics that have been shared, right? 75,000 miles and 20,000 odd contacts. So is it 20,000 musts that have been contacted or 20,000 special souls?
No, I would say that they tried to, the universe was 20,000 of contacts. Out of that, Baba chose the rare gems, is what I could understand. But I mean, you have to do a, you know, what they call in Hindi channi. You have to weed out. I mean, you take out from 20,000.
Sieve it out of the. So
Yeah,
20,000 you're saying is all the special souls and okay. Or maybe I think he is making a reference to those in the, I mean this even those that failed. Yeah, you're right. That's what you mean. That failed the filter. Right.
and
And
it's
75,000 miles is only the must tours, or is it all his travel? Because I think even there's the Baba Travels website. I don't know if it has listed the total length of travel. I think it does. So maybe that's more than 75,000. One reason. Second, when this book was written, this was still in the 50s. So Baba traveled prolifically, continued to travel even after that, right? So New Life ke baad bhi and so on. So I think the travel number in the mileage number for Baba is much more, right? Those are the two things that came to mind.
absolutely Karthik, and it would also include his West tour and Australia. So I think 75,000 miles is only up to that period.
Yeah. Okay. After two is where you're continuing, I think. From here.
But this one, I say, oh, sorry. But this one can really do on a must journey with Baba. After 2 or 3 days of work from dawn to dusk, with little or no food, and after 2 or 3 nights with little or no sleep, the world simply becomes unreal, and one lives a kind of reflex life in which the parts of one's body move and work, but the gist of living and that sense of well being, dependent, one supposes, upon a nervous system refreshed by sleep and upon tissues nourished by adequate food, are simply no longer there. But must tours do not last just 2 or 3 days. They go on for 2 or 3 weeks, And this tempo of work goes on and on. Baba ever spurring those with him to the very limits of their powers. On one of the tours of 1946, Baidul estimated that in 8 days they had a total of 14 hours sleep, which is an average of about 2 hours sleep a day. Finally, add to all these things the infliction of a tropical climate and the drain on one's vitality through constant respiration, you will get an approximate answer of what a must tour is like. So, few of Baba's devotees outside the circle of his intimate disciples realize the tremendous hardships that Baba imposes upon himself and upon those with him, and one wonders how many would recognize their weary and travel stained master on these great journeys. As the leader and master of these tours, he has the power and authority to set the pace, and of his own will or for his own spiritual reasons, he sets it at this almost incredible rate. Thus, you see Baba and three or four disciples set out on a must tour, strong and fresh, and when they enter the garden gate or 2 or 3 weeks later, you go to welcome them back and help them bring their luggage into the house. You see their tired, unshaven faces and Baba's face and their tired eyes and Baba's eyes, and you see their clothes. And Baba's clothes too, dirty with dirt, worked into the fabric of a cloth and fixed there by days of respiration. And you see places where the clothes are torn, memorials and little outer signs of the weird days and nights of moving and working, working and moving, days and nights when the master submits himself to the sordid limitations of physical existence, not for his own sake, but for mankind. Wow, this is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And in the evening, after a shave, a bath, a meal, and a few hours of rest, you see Baba join the Mandali and you listen to the witty and fascinating review of the tour just completed. It is now that you hear of the incredible hardships, of the sleepless nights, of the tedious visits in trains, tongas, and bullock carts, of the rides upon camels, ponies, and asses, and once to cross a river, of a ride upon an elephant, of the treks on foot over leagues of dust or mud, of the vicissitudes of rain and sun, cold and heat. In short, you hear something at least of what Baba and his men went through, and of the qualities and oddities of the best of the musts whom they met. Word pictures of the brief encounters between Baba and these strange, God intoxicated souls. And when the Mandli who went with him add their tribute of description, you hear how throughout all these hardships, Baba remained the freshest of all, and how after each contact with the really good must, he seemed particularly radiant, as if some great work had been achieved or some heavy burden lifted. One One does not, of course, know exactly what urges Baba to travel all over India in search of these musts, nor what are the factors involved in his decision as to how many musts need be conducted on any one tour. In this context, however, Irach was told how Baba, at the outset of a tour, often says that he must contact a certain number of musts, say 25 or some round figure like that, but after a week or more, when perhaps 17 have been contacted, he says suddenly that his work is now completed. He then pulls out a scrap of paper from a pocket of his travel stained coat and shows a few jottings of figures as if he had in advance worked out that exactly 17 were needed, but had told his men to find 25 so that there was a margin of safety, or so that the efforts of searching for these musts should not be prematurely relaxed. A consecutive account of all these 75,000 miles of journeys and 20,000 odd contacts would be impossible in this chapter, and the growing deposit of subsequent events has already buried many memories beyond the grasp of spontaneous recall. But I have felt that a record should be made in this book of the skeleton outline of each tour and the small maps and lists of place names that follow at the end of this chapter serve this purpose. They do not show which must Baba contacted in each place on each tour, but when combined with details in the supplement, they can show this also, and a keen student of Baba's life, by correlating the list in this chapter with the details in the supplement, can produce a chronological account of the contacts of almost every tour. This chapter, which sets out to give an account of Baba's tour, is therefore little more than a prolegomena to the supplement, and a tonic that it is hoped will stimulate the appetite of the reader to devour the solid substance of information at the end of this volume. Karthik, can I request you to look up that word?
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I don't even know how it's spelled, right? What? Let me get it there. Oh, like a morning. Like a critical or discursive introduction to a book. Okay, so it's an introduction to the supplement. This chapter, which sets out to give an account of Baba's tours, is therefore little more than a prolegomenon to the supplement. And how do you pronounce that?
Haha.
Prolegomenon.
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 Tough one. Okay.
Yeah,
Howard script spelling bee, we should ask.
What is that?
What is the spelling of this prolegomena?
I know. No, but from a spelling standpoint, I think it might be easy. It's fairly phonetic.
Yeah, as it is
Yeah,
prolegomena.
yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's continue.
I'll continue.
Yeah, actually, we can rotate after a para or two. Yeah, please.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Everybody should read.
Yeah. So you want to continue for just this para? And
Yeah,
then
I'll continue. 1 second.
for the supplement, yeah.
For the supplement, although it purports to be a complete record of Baba's work with Masts, Salik like pilgrims, sadhus, fakirs, and the poor, is chiefly a record of all these thousands of contacts on his various tours. The reader then has no need to drag aching and dusty feet along the 20 miles of stony hill track that led to Jasgiran, where Nanga Baba sat naked on a hilltop for 25 years. He need only settle more snugly in his chair and with a few flips of finger and thumb turn to Jasgiran in the supplement and descend in imagination upon that wild hill and sat with Baba, his men, and the local village folk, and in his mind's eye watch Nanga Baba devour his meal of pounded wood and stones. Shall I complete this page?
Yeah, please.
No need also to sit with aching bones hour after the very hour in the compressed and sweaty discomfort of an Indian third class carriage, as Baba and his men have done, not to work a passage along the squelching banks of rice fields to Bansi, where the ageless yogi sits like a waxen image in a darkened room. The reader need only slide the lamp a little closer, and if he reads in bed, shift his pillow to a new angle and turn over the pages to Bansi and dream himself into that strange room. No need to have fingers pinched and clothes torn by the incalculable behavior of Tonga hoods and Tonga upholstery, nor to suffer the battering of bullock cart journeys over interminable country tracks, for with agile fingers and a rapid eye, the reader may fly within a few minutes from Rishikesh, where Keshwananji stood in the mountain valley at the edge of the grey waters of the Ganges, to Kilkarai in the farthest south, where Palukula Baba awed the villagers by crossing rivers without swimming and without a boat. And if the turning And if in turning the leaves of the supplement one finds pages here and there with few souls of interest, one may infer how much more tedious were the hours and days of labor of Baba and his men spent in searching out these minor souls. Saints who are consciously aware of their spiritual progress are perhaps not so hard to find, but great musts are gems wrapped in the rubbish of an outer packing of eccentricity and physical dirtiness, and it needs the skill and vision of the master not only to pierce the outer veil of trivialities but also to separate the real jewels from plausible fakes. As he reads the supplement, I hope, therefore, that the reader will give free rein to his imagination, because only the imagination can bring to life the brief notes of so many contacts between Meher Baba, the perfect one, and these strange wayfarers on the path to the infinite.
Okay. So with that, actually, the main part of the book ends. And like he says, from now it's account of the tours followed by the supplement. So I think, yeah, if not for Donkin's efforts, the depth to which Baba went and the magnitude of the effort and yeah, the this aspect of the must tours in the life of Baba, I think I got a great glimpse. I'm sure all of you also enjoyed reading this. Right. So let's start with the introduction to the following sketch maps. So there are small maps. So I'll show you what he means by that. So there are small maps for each of the tours, and then there's description of where and how he traveled. So we'll see how to read it. But yeah, let's get started. Who wants to go next? Ravi, you want to read for a bit?
I have somebody, I'm
Oh,
sorry,
okay, no problem.
I have
No
somebody
problem.
coming now. It's
No
an
problem.
important meeting
I'll
that I have to
read.
have. I have to break
I
away.
can
I'm
read.
sorry.
Please, Mama, go ahead. And then we do Ashish, then I do.
Yes, yeah, sure.
Baba Ki Jai. Introduction to the following sketch maps. The 8 sketch maps that follow are attempts to show graphically the special tours that Baba undertook from 1939 to 1946 for the purpose of contacting Salik-like pilgrims, sadhus, fakirs, and the poor. These maps do not therefore include any incidental must contacts at other times in places all over India, nor of course any must ashrams. They are solely synoptic sketch maps of the work done on special must tours. The statistics at the top of each map cannot be taken as fully accurate since the records from which they were compiled were sometimes unavoidably incomplete. The mileage was calculated from a railway timetable, and the final figure shown is to the nearest 100 miles. The figures for the numbers of contacts are shown as they came out, but as a rough guide, an error of about 10% is probable. The words must, etc., cover contacts with musts and salik like pilgrims, as distinct from sadhus and the poor. The list of places visited on each tour are given because I have felt that the outline of each tour should be placed on record and on maps of so small a size it was not possible to do this by a series of dotted lines showing the actual route followed on each tour. In connection with these lists, the following points need explanation. 1. The place from which a tour started and finished is in italics at the head and foot of each column of place names. Number 2, contacts in a place where Baba was resident are shown simply as the name of that place in italics. Number 3, places apparently off the obvious route of a tour through which Baba passed without doing much work are shown in brackets where necessary. Number 4, in a few instances, a tour begins in 1 month and ends in another. In such a case, the entire tour is entered under the month in which it begins, but a brief note is interpolated in the list of places visited to show where the new month begins. This has been done in order to avoid discrepancies between the dates shown in these lists and the dates shown in the supplement. Number 5, the reference figures show the position of the place concerned on the appropriate map. The square on each map are numbered by a combination of the letters A to F at the lower border and the numbers 1 to 8 at the side border of each map. Thus, the top left-hand square of each map is capital A bar I. The next to its right is B bar 1 and so forth. And any place in square A bar 1 or B bar 1 as one of these respective numbers as its reference. The reference figure in enclosure, probably bar A or enclosure bar B, show that the place concerned is in an enlargement label A or B at the foot of the appropriate map for that year. Such enlargements were sometimes unavoidable when the main map was too crowded with names. The particular area that has been enlarged in any given map is shown also as a small area labeled A or B on the main map. This sounds obscure, but a glance at any map with such an enlargement will make this clear. Such a description and classification.
Absolutely. So this, I think, is enlargement A, enlargement B, not enclosure, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Properly.
Yeah. So anyway,
Special
the like you said, very specific instructions. So we'll just try to put this in context. Especially some of these were confusing. If a tour begins in 1 month and ends in another, so let's just go see a list, then we'll come back. So this is how a list looks. So he starts with a map. Even these maps have these the whatever he described as the markings A through 8, and then this is the list. So this is the map reference, and then you go from Jaipur in January right down through February and so on, November, December. Okay, and then the next tour. Okay. All right. So let's just go back to the next set of notes that were there. We were here. Special Masts tours in 1939.
For the explanation of the reference figures opposite each place name, see the introduction to these sketch maps, note 5. Okay. April, Jabalpur D4, Sausar D bar 4, Jabalpur D bar 4, November Bangalore C bar 6, Trichinopalli D bar 7, Negapattanam, that is Nagapattanam D bar 7, Tanjore D bar 7, Bangalore C bar 6. Okay. For the explanation of the reference figures opposite each place name, see the introduction to these sketch maps, note 5. January, Bangalore C bar 6, Trivandrum C bar 7, Cape Comorin. Madura D bar 7, Bangalore C bar 6, that is in January. June, Mehrabad C bar 5, Calcutta F bar 4, Mehrabad C bar 5. So this is to locate the place on the map, we need to use this C bar 6 or D bar 7, etc.
Yeah.
So that we can locate the place.
Correct.
Okay.
So then we go to.
So it is a sort of a right to left and top to bottom grid. Left to right is the alphabets, top to bottom is the numbers. So like
then,
latitude, longitude, things like that.
Yeah, like in the big map, right? So even in the
Yes.
big map, he's done the same thing.
Yes, yes.
The big map, obviously, I think is in the book. It's spread out and probably it's a fold out page. So it's a very, very big and detailed map. These are more specific. So if you look at another thing, there is a box on the top. So you have the year of the tour on the left, 1939. That's the first tour map. And on the right, you have how much journey was covered. So 1,000 miles of travel. Who were the contacts made? So you had Masts, etc. I think the number is 5, but it's not clear. Then you have sadhus and poor. So 0 sadhus, 0 poor, but Masts were 5. And this is between Saugor and Jabalpur. Now, if you look at that, I think that's the first one that's covered here, right? So April 1939, Jabalpur and Sausor, right? And then you go to the November tour and so on and so forth. So yeah, please. Yeah, we'll continue for the explanation. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to really read this quickly. We can, at least the places. Oh, Narsobawadi. Okay. Kurundwad. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
You can ignore the maybe the map references because
Yes.
yeah, you can ignore that and then just read the location names. Yeah.
Okay. Special Must tours in 1941. For the explanation of the reference figures opposite each place name, see the introduction to these sketch maps, note 5, which you have already seen. January, Jaipur, Alwar, Jaipur, that is then Jaipur, Ismailpur, Jaipur, Jodhpur, Jaipur, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Rajkot, Junagadh, Jamnagar, Okha, Jaipur. That is in January. So next is down, I think. February, Jaipur, Delhi, Lucknow, Banaras, Calcutta, Puri, Voltaire, Madras, Kilakkarai, Nagpur, Delhi, Jaipur. That is February. Come down, I think.
Come up. That's there. Oh, okay. Sorry, there's more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then April, Dehradun, Hardwar, Kankhal, Rishikesh, Dehradun. Okay. Next, May, Dehradun, Ajmer, Dehradun, June, Ajmer, Sojat, Mira Datar, Abu Road, Ajmer, Rewari, Ismailpur, Nimach, Alwar, Chittor, Ajmer.
Chittor is Chittorgarh maybe. And yeah, go ahead. Ajmer.
Ajmer, Pushkar, Kishangarh, Ajmer, Nasirabad, Ajmer, Bewar, Sojat, Ajmer. July, still in Ajmer, Ahmedabad, Sojat, Marwar, come back to Ajmer. July continued, Ismailpur, Rewari, Delhi, Kavanpur, Aligarh.
I think that's Kanpur. That's just the British spelling.
Kanpur. Oh,
Yeah,
Kanpur. Aligarh, Ajmer. October, so there is a shift from July to October. Panchgani, Narsobavadi.
It's actually called Narsoba Wadi. Narsoba Wadi is
Narsobavadi. Yes.
it's Narasimha Saraswati's Samadhi Sthal
Okay.
near Miraj. So I've been there.
Okay. Kurandwad, Secunderabad, Hyderabad, Itarsi, Allahabad, Naini, Joshi, Fatehpur, Kanpur.
Again, Kanpur. Yeah.
Kanpur, Delhi, Ismailpur, Ajmer, Indore, Khandwa, Panchgani, Dahigaon, Panchgani, November, Dharwar, Bijapur, Solapur, ? Dharwar, Belgaum, Sangli, Hubli, Nagapattinam, probably Bangalore. Down south, back to Bangalore. Okay.
So I have a question. So what does it mean when he's repeating Jaipur? So that's not
Maybe,
clear. Yeah.
so maybe one
back to best
identification, probably one must or one sadhu, next one another, like that probably. Or going out each day and finding somebody or not finding somebody.
Correct. So this is 1939. So a total of 1,000 miles. But then all these places are not on this map, right? So
Yes, they are there. Some of them are marked out. Bangalore down south is also marked there.
okay, so it's not marked. You're right. Maybe it's just a reference. Yeah. Okay. And then we go to the next one, 1940. 6 musts were contacted. And then 3,500 miles of journey. Calcutta, Mehrabad, Bangalore, Madurai, Trivandrum are the prominent marked out places. And then 1941.
18,800.
Wow. 117 musts, etc. 7,277 sadhus and poor, 100 poor. And I think this covers all the names we read, right? Including Itarsi here, Kishangarh, Pushkar, Wayfarers, all the names we read now are covered in 1940. Dahigaon.
So, Hamirpur area, is it the same time Baba visited to Hamirpur also? No.
I think later, 1952, right? Yeah. No, I don't know if he has visited before also. At least the highest of the high happened in the 50s. That was the big visit.
This could be Hamirpur in Himachal. There's a Hamirpur in Himachal also.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. So Baba came to Hamirpur in 1952. Yeah.
52. Yeah. So that is the first time, right?
Yeah, 52 and 54. Okay.
Okay. And 52 was the highest of the high.
53 was the highest of the high, right? No? In Dehradun?
Oh, Dehradun, not Hamirpur. Okay. My bad. Okay. I thought it was
From Hamirpur, he went to Dehradun, basically.
okay.
After Hamirpur visit, he went to Dehradun.
Okay. So that's where Narsoba Wadi is. Then Kurundwad, Dharwad, Hubli is misspelled. I think that's Hubli. Ilakkarai, Nagapatnam. Yeah. Okay. Special must tours. So here comes the enlarged.
Yes.
So actually, I don't know if you want to skip reading the names, that's fine too.
Yes.
You know,
Okay.
because this is more like reading out a train timetable or whatever. But I mean, it's just fascinating how many places and how much of recording effort has gone in, right? The, there are two levels of fascination, one lesser than the other. The bigger fascination is for the amount of travel Baba did. The second
Yes.
level of fascination is, which is much lesser, is for what Donkins has done putting this together.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we'll just leaf through this if you're all okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So Guntakal appears for the first time. Any new names we'll see in each one, right? So in this page, Rampur is new. Chengalpet is new. Chengalpet is on the outskirts of Tamil Nadu. I mean, outskirts of Chennai. Kurduwadi is very close to Mehrabad. It's on the train line when we approach Ahmednagar. Thana Bhavan, Jalalabad. Jalalabad is in Afghanistan, right? Enlargement A. We'll track that down because Jalalabad, maybe there's another Jalalabad in India. Ajmer, Jodhpur, Bareilly is appearing for the first time near Delhi. Moradabad again near Delhi. Gonda, Rajasthan. Mankapur, Faizabad. So Gopalganj, Patna, Gujarat, Sialkot, Pasro, Verka. I don't even know where that is. Enclosure B. So remember Jalalabad, enclosure A, enlargement A, and then Verka enlargement B. We'll see it. This is in 1942. Then, yeah, Rawalpindi. This is all Pakistan. So Rawalpindi, Gujarat, Sialkot, Pasrur, Gujranwala. Gujranwala is again on, it's actually in POK, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, I think. And then you have Lahore, Saharanpur, then it crosses over Hardwar, Rishikesh, Dehradun. Yeah. Nagina, new name. Najibabad, Siora. Rishikesh, I think, is misspelled. Rikikesh. Katgodam, again up in the hills near Ranikhet. Bhowali, Bareilly, Najibabad. Yeah, Dehradun. Let's go see the maps. Lonavla, Uran, Lonavla, Arkonam, Tanjore, Chengalpet, Guntakal, Hubli. Yeah, this is the map, 1942. There are two enlargements, A and B. So this is, as it is politically correct these days, this is the Akhand Bharat map. So you see Pakistan appearing on the left as part of the map. So we'll go see A and B in a bit. So all of these are familiar. Let me see how much I can. Yeah, this is not high resolution. So the text is kind of, yeah. Yeah. Then Mehrabad. Yeah, so here's enlargement A, Saharanpur, Roorkee, Jwalapur, Najibabad, Nagina, Goali, Kathgodam. So effectively, this area is being blown up here. Meerut, Panipat, Thana Bhavan, Jalalabad. So this is a different Jalalabad. Muzaffarnagar, Siora, Moradabad, Pilibhit, all of that. And then you have the Pakistani side, Bakala, Varka, Hoshiarpur. You cross the border, Amritsar, Jalandhar, Nakoder. I don't know where. Nakoder must be on the Indian side because this is a
Yeah,
map.
it is in India. It is in India.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's what. This is the Indian. I mean, this is a
I've been
map.
there.
Okay.
I've been there.
Okay. Near Amritsar, I think. Near Jalandhar.
Yes,
Maybe.
yes, yes.
Goraya, Ludhiana, and then Kup, I think. Kup or Kep, I don't know. And Lahore is on the left. Left is the Pakistani side. Okay, interesting. Okay, one more. This is 1943. Okay, Mehrabad, Aurangabad, Bezwada is a new place. Good. Oh, so this is, I think, he's heading out to Andhra. So Guntur, Polavaram, Kottalanka, Kazipet, and then back to Mahabaleshwar. Panchgani. This is again near Maharashtra. Panchgani, Surat, Jalgaon, Bhusawal, Chalisgaon, and Panchgani. Then one more trip to Pakistan. Lahore, Khudian Khas, Kulmokal, Kanganpur, Kasur, Lahore, Butt, Lahore, and Gujranwala, Gujarat, Rawalpindi, Mandra. Then August again Lahore, September Srinagar, and all around Kashmir. So Achibal, Koil, Mangom, Marthand. Sequence of visits not known. Srinagar. Then back to Pakistan again, Lahore, Haripur, Jasgiran, Gujranwala, Amritsar, Lahore, Kasur, Kulmokal, Lahore, in October, Calcutta, Lucknow, Kapurthala, Phagwada, Rajasthan, Jalandhar. No, Phagwada is Punjab. Lahore, Hoshiarpur, Lahore, Jammu, Jalandhar, Hoshiarpur, Lahore. Fascinating. So any other ideas on how you want to handle this, guys? I think
Okay.
I don't want to make it boring, but I don't want to ignore it as well.
Okay. Now, 2, 3 things which come out here is such an extensive searching in smaller place, the smaller area, and also jumping tracks to different places all of a sudden with a large travel to a different, totally different state or area. So things Baba has done, we will not be able to say understand. So maybe his say universal contact with any must anywhere tracks him to that place to fish him out from among the so many souls around.
Yeah. No, it's
And
mind-boggling. Mind-boggling
yes,
is the least way to describe it. Like you said, the randomness in the choice of these destinations, the repetition to the same places
yes,
multiple times, the smaller towns that have been visited, all these are significant aspects which you will never understand and comprehend. So again, some new places in 1944, Parbani, Aurangabad, Paitan, Jhansi, Gwalior, then Khandwa, Borgaon, Barwaha, Vaijapur. Is that Bijapur? No, I think it's maybe near Pimpalgaon, but Narayangaon, Ale, Raipur, Amravati, and Ilichpur. And I remember Ashish recognized that place, right? Ilichpur. There was a must that you
Yeah.
recognized. Yeah.
Yeah, now it called as Achilpur.
Oh, is it? Okay. And you recognized a special soul there, right? Some name.
But I said that maybe he is not the same because the timeline was
Okay.
different.
Okay. Badnera, Wardha, Tatanagar, Raipur, Murtazapur, Dhamanggaon, Badnera. I'm sounding like a newsreader during election time.
This is near to all Amravati. This Badnera, Murtijapur, Elichpur, these all places
Srinagar.
are near to Amravati.
Yeah. We are home. This is all Kashmir. Tulamul, Gandarbal, Mangom, Charwan, Barnabug, Kangan, Mangom, Chundangam. Then Srinagar, Sumbal, Ajas, Gurur, Banangam, Kayul, Baramulla, Nadihal. Hey, the Kashmiris on the call. Why don't you give us some context? Anything that strikes your mind? So Bal is a common way to end many place names, I think. Bal or Gum, right? Like
Balgam.
like Pahalgam.
Yeah.
Either it's gum or you
The village.
have Bal.
No, Balgam. Bal is a little hill. Gam is
Okay.
a village.
Oh, so Bal is a hill. Okay.
Hill. Okay.
So Hazrat Bal means Hazrat hill.
Yeah.
Okay.
My God, I can't even believe he's gone to all these things.
Amazing.
Pampur, Hannibal, Achibal. These are such beautiful places. Martand. Oh my God.
All these, yeah.
Oh my God. Who is this Baba? My God.
Unbelievable.
It's in. Oh,
Khadar Mun, is that the way to pronounce it here?
which one?
Khadar Mun, Purusu,
Purusu, Koyal,
Koyal.
Kuchal, Pulwama.
Pulwama is, of course, now familiar.
We should
Yeah.
schedule a
Galwan.
trip actually. All these places for Kashmir.
Kangan,
can-
I lived in Kangan. My father was posted there. It's so beautiful. It's like a valley under the hills. Beautiful, big rivers around there. They used to
Wow.
produce hydro power from there.
Wow. That's Kangan, you say.
Yeah, Kangan. Sunil has also gone to Kangan. Our old servant used to live there, so we went and saw him.
Nice. Rawalpindi and Peshawar in Pakistan after that, and Aurangabad, Vahegaon, Goregaon, Aurangabad, Ajanta, and Aurangabad. Yeah, Ashish, you're right. I think they did a Kashmir tour, and I don't know how many of these places, but yes, they went to many of the places that Baba went to, and of course, they also went to where Jesus's remains are said to be there, right? So, what is the name of the place? It's he used
Harwan.
to. Harwan. Thank you. Yeah.
You visited those places, Karthik?
No, I haven't. You were saying something, Namita.
Karthik, could you give me a PDF of this book, please?
Sure, of course.
Thanks.
So this is again the places that we saw. 8,000 miles journeyed in 1943.
Wow.
Masts of 141 contacted. Sadhus 1 and 1,300 poor. Just the fact that Baba traveled 8,000 miles to meet 141 people tells you something. And this 8,000 miles are all over the country. I mean, he's gone here, then he's gone here, gone to the east, gone to Andhra a little bit. It's mind-boggling.
And mind it, this was in 1943. It was not easy to travel.
Yeah.
And this was also a time of war.
Yes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. A lot of limitations on travel as
Not
well.
easy.
Third-class trains. Unbelievable what Baba has done. So with
Most
that,
of these places may not be having even electricity that time, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So the time to travel was limited in that sense. Yeah.
correct. And many of these were preceded by a recce trip by the team, right? So, as he described in that last few pages of the book, it's a very stressful time the Mandali and especially the Mast hunters, Baidul Kaka and Eruch have gone through. These years must have been really stressful, right? And this is a third party account. Donkins has not actually been in the thick of it, but he's just recounting, and I think he's done a fascinating job of giving us an experience of what how it must have been, apart from the scale of it, even the experience of how it would have been, how stressful and so on. So very nicely done. Apart from making us run to the dictionary so many times. And this is 44, 5,100 miles over the year. 115 musts contacted, sadhus are 103, and then poor of 3,164. So again, significant Kashmir, Pakistan travels. Then largely quite a bit of quite a number of places in Maharashtra. So Vaijapur is not to be confused with Bijapur because Bijapur is much south. This is on the top. So Ale, Paithan, Goregaon, or whatever, Gorgaon maybe, Wardha, and many of these. So the other pattern that emerges is many of these places are continuing to be places of prominence for Baba, right? Especially if you take the Andhra names and Maharashtra names, all of them are uh, places that have centers today. Varda has a center, Amravati has a center, Bhusawal has a center. Then you go to Andhra, all the places that we saw in the previous map, they all have, Polavaram has a center, Kazipet has a center. So obviously that contact and the effort of universal work done with his physical presence in those regions have had everlasting impact, right? So to this date, we have those centers operating and people are there. By the way, what I missed is this enlargement. There's a small enlargement on the Pakistan side, Kartarpur, Hoshiarpur, and I mean Pakistan Punjab side. There's something here, 43. Then this is 44. And now we come to 1945. 9,200 miles, 808, I mean, sorry, 206 musts, me and my glasses, 8 sadhus, and 1,099 poor. Okay, it's a lot more east than we have ever seen, because I don't think he has done much of east, but now you see Katak, Badrak, Midnapur, Bishnupur, C, Raigad, Bilaspur, Tikamgarh, Saugar, Bhopal, Mathura. Then, and then you have the big Andhra now. That's enlarged apart from Pai, Ahmednagar, Jogipet, Sangarpet, Kazirpet, Warangal, Jangaon, Secunderabad, Bezwada. Bezwada is Vijayawada. Vijayawada, yeah. I think that's the railhead is called Voltaire, I think, right?
Yes.
The railhead is called Voltaire and Vijayawada is the town.
Voltaire and Bezwada was a very common name for us when we were children, I think. Oh, it has all changed.
No, I remember Voltaire on the Coromandel coming down from Calcutta, but I
Yes,
don't know if that is Vijayawada. I think it is. I don't know. Nanded. So this is a blow up of this region, the Maharashtra region. Nanded, Lauha, Parli, Udgir, Kandahar, Bidar, Alandi, Zahirabad, Gulbarga. So this is all rich with again a lot of spiritual places of spiritual significance on the Datta Sampradaya, right? Bidar, Alandi, Gulbarga, Gurmitkal, Yadgir. Yadgir, we remember even it was mentioned multiple times in our reading on the tours. And here we see Angiras Rishi, the hills, Angiras Rishi hills. Yeah.
So we have a mixture of so many different shades of names, from the rishis' names to the Arabic or the Muslim invasion conversion, and then changes in places names and all that.
Correct. And you have British names. But you can't blame him. 1945, these places were called what they were.
Yes, yes, yes.
So this is 1945. This is the map from above, right? Yeah, this is the map from above. February was Maharashtra, Ahmednagar, Jhansi, Ahmednagar, and April, Hyderabad. This is all the region in the Deccan. So Hyderabad, Udgir, and then Bidar, which is Shankarpalli, Sangareddy Peta, Jogipet, Medak, which is Hyderabad proper. Then Vijayawada, Warangal, Kazipet, Alandi, Gulbarga, Yadgir, Gurmitkal, Hyderabad, Madras, Raichur, Mahbub Nagar, Lawa, Parli, Bidar. Yeah, Hyderabad, Y, Raipur. In October and November, he's going to the east after Maharashtra. Then it's Champa, Calcutta, Midnapur, Vishnupur, and we saw Angiras Rishi on that trip. Jhansi, Mathura, Saugor, Tikamgarh, Bhopal, Y. So what it means, I still am not clear why he is repeating the place names in sequence, like multiple times, same name, which is odd. Because if he's staying there for 4 days or 4 weeks, you just say it once. So there must be a reason.
Maybe he turned. Maybe he went to the same place twice.
Yes, probably.
Like in May, he went to Hyderabad, from there to Udgi to Bidar, and back to Hyderabad.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
understandable. So if you take this example, Hyderabad, coming back to Hyderabad is sequential. So he came the second time from Jogipet, but then what does he mean by having Hyderabad again here? So that part is a bit confusing, but I don't know. Maybe there must be
Maybe.
a purpose.
Yeah, because he continues to be there to the
Longer.
next month. To the next month, because if you see June, after
May
May,
twice and then June
no.
again
Yeah,
Hyderabad.
again he is in Hyderabad only in June.
Yeah,
And
that could be a
similarly,
pattern.
after June, he has just written it twice. That it means that it is continuing to the next
To
month.
next month.
Yeah, that's
Absolutely
right.
possible. Yeah. But that pattern is not followed between July and August. So
Yeah.
July, Hyderabad, and then directly August. Anyway, not to take anything away from the effort that went in. He's done a great job. 1946 now. For the explanation reference, figures opposite each place name. See the introduction to these sketch maps, note 5. March, Mehrabad, Kulgaon, Jamgaon, Mirajgaon, Mehrabad, and then in the hills, Rishikesh, Hardwar, Panipat, Ambala, Ludhiana, Pilor, Pagwada, Varka, Amritsar, Lahore, Sialkot, Pasrur, Jammu, Wazirabad, Gujranwala, Saharanpur, Lucknow, Kanpur, Delhi, Deoband, Chhatrauli, Hardwar, Rishikesh, Amritsar, in July, August, Bulandshahr, Ambala, Pinjore, Kalka, Simla, Ambala, Nahan, Sadhaura, Rishikesh. July, August again, Hardwar. September, October, Hyderabad side, which is, oh, Hyderabad in Pakistan, Sindh. Sevan, Sukkur, Rori, Multan, Layalpur, Kushrab, all this in Pakistan. Pel, Bikaner, now crossover to Rajasthan, yeah, India side, Naranpur, Kota, Eta, then move to Delhi, Mathura, Bharatpur. Yeah, so this is 1946 for you. 6,800 miles, 182 musts contacted, 1,112 sadhus, and 8,000 poor. This really sounds like an election reading right now with the numbers.
And this is in miles, mind it.
I know, I know.
It's about 12,000 kilometers.
Kilometers. It's mind-boggling, mind-boggling. So 75,000, the question I asked to Ashok is just between this period of 1939 to 1946. Just that is 75,000, right? So
Yes.
that's confirmed now.
That's miles or kilometers?
Miles.
Miles.
Wow. Over 1 lakh.
Yeah. Almost a lakh kilometers that Baba has done, as you said, with this limited travel infrastructure and grueling schedules and demanding,
Yeah.
requests.
No air-conditioned cars,
Nothing.
no
Absolutely right.
fast-speed trains. Yeah.
Karthik, I just have one question. Is it the blue bus or the blue bus tours?
This is not the Blue Bus tours.
Okay, okay. But then
No.
75,000 miles is for this period.
For this, yeah, yes. So this is just the must tours chronicled. We were wondering if it was for the larger travel till that date.
No,
All of
because
Baba's travel, it's
during
not.
Blue Bus tour, even Women Mandali was that was
Exactly.
a separate period.
That's another one.
Yes. So he's traveled a lot.
Absolutely.
Jay Baba.
Lot is an understatement here.
Yes.
Did I hear a total number of travel miles during that number of years?
Yes, it's
Yes.
75,000 miles between 1939 and 1946-47.
Wow,
75,000 miles. Mind-boggling.
mind-boggling. Yeah. Yeah, wow.
So after this, so actually 1946, not even 1947. So 1939 to 1946, 75,000 miles, and he summarizes the number of musts as well, right? So where was that? 22,000 special souls. Yeah, 20,000 odd contacts, 75,000 miles, and 20,000 odd contacts. Right, so 20,000 odd. Now we have better context. 20,000 includes the poor, the
Sadhus
mas,
poor.
the salik, and the sadhus. All of them together. Mas and saliks are together. Then you have sadhus. Then you have the poor. All of them together is 20,000. That's broken up in each of the maps. Great book. So the supplement we've been reading as we were finishing, as we were encountering the place names. So I'll again just briefly explain how that's structured. We'll take a look at the supplement. Oh, there's an explanation. Maybe we can quickly read the explanation concerning the supplement. Anybody wants to? I know there's quite a few people. Let's rotate and have some reading. Singapore, Nomita ji, why don't you read? If you can.
Yeah. Okay, I'll read it.
Please go ahead. Explanation concerning the supplement. Yeah, Baba.
The following pages are the result of an attempt to give a systematic and complete account of Meher Baba's contacts with advanced souls of all kinds and also with sadhus, the mad, and the poor. The information gathered together here might have been laid out in one of many different ways. chronologically, for instance, and it is conceived that some may wish that it had been done in that way. After considering the various possibilities, it was, however, evident that most practical ways of setting out such a variety of material was to do so alphabetically under place names. It is, of course, true that these place names may mean very little to those who have never lived or traveled in India, and it is principally for this reason that a map has been incorporated in the volume. The second consideration was to keep the reader to pick out at a
Sorry,
glance the
sorry. The second consideration is here. I just moved the page.
okay. The second consideration was to keep the descriptions of the various people contacted as free as possible from queer names and forbidding dates, which it was felt might tire all but most dodgy reader. In order to achieve this objective, I would say, object most of the statistical data, that is, names and dates, have been placed a column separate from the description so that the description themselves contain a little of this kind of information as possible. The third consideration was to help the reader to pick out at a glance the most interesting, important descriptions from the main mass of the supplement, and for this purpose, stars, orange asterisks have been placed in certain cases at the beginning of the description. The placing of these stars has been done according to the arbitrary opinion of the author and bears no consistent relationship to the spiritual status of the person described. The stars merely show what might be called the grade of interest of the reading matter in the description. If I may be excused for being didactic for a moment, two stars mean that you must read the description so marked, one star that you should read it, and no star at all that you may read it or not according to your inclination. For
But I wonder how he did the orange star, orange asterisk, because in the physical book was it a color production? I wonder how they did that. In
No,
this, of course, we saw it as orange, but that's PDF, right?
yeah,
So I don't know how in the physical book was it colored? I wonder. Anyway, we'll continue for an explanation.
for an explanation as to why certain remarks in the description column and certain dates in the date of contacts and entries are in italics, the reader is referred to note 5 last paragraph and note 6 first paragraph. The supplement starts from the early contacts of Baba in 1922 and is complete up to the closing of the Satara Mast Ashram in the middle of July 1947. I have used the word complete, but of course there are omissions that will perhaps never be brought to light. It should be remembered that up to the publication of this book, there has been almost no written record of this work of Meher Baba, so that inevitably a fair number of unimportant contacts have been forgotten. I believe, however, that this record is as complete as can now be made. There are certain obscurities and inconsistencies in the layout of the supplement, which the following notes may help to make it clear. Concerning the entries labeled place, all the place names were arranged in alphabetical order before the constitutional change of August 15, 1947, and no reference is made as to whether a place is now in the Indian Union or in Pakistan. The spellings of the various place names are generally those of the Survey of India maps. Sometimes survey maps give different spellings or the same place on maps of different scales. In such a case, if the place concerned is shown on the cart International, whatever series, the spelling on this series has been followed.
Follow.
Number two, concerning the entries labeled map reference, the reference map numbers given in this column are those on the large map at the end of the volume, and a glance at the appropriate square will show the place concerned. The words ENL oblique A and EN1 B refers to the two enlargements labeled A and B at the top right hand corner of the same map. Where no map reference is given, the place concerned has not been visited by Meher Baba for must work extra, and for this reason it is not shown on the map. The only exceptions to this rule are Bandrawala in Ceylon, where Baba contacted a spiritual agent in 1933. Kandy and Vengoda, also in Ceylon, where Baba worked with Chetty, uh, Chetty Baba. Is it Chetty
Yeah,
Baba?
Chatti Baba.
These particular places could not be entered on the main map because they are off its lower edge.
I'll pause you
Concerning
there. I'll pause you there. We'll go to the
yes,
map. I'll show what he's talking about. So if you see, there are two enlargements that he talks about. This is the first enlargement, and this is the second enlargement, which is basically Kashmir. And this is high resolution. So you can see all the locations that we saw in the earlier readings, all those names mapped out very neatly. And you can probably talk more about Kashmir if something strikes your mind. And the reason, like he says, Sri Lanka is left out simply because of physical space limitations. So he's covered up to Anuradhapura. Vayangoda and Kandy are the southern extremities. They are between Colombo and Anuradhapura, Kandy and Vayangoda. So that's why it's not included, is what he's saying. But that's where Chetty Baba was met. And this is again a summary of the tours. So we read this earlier. So this is the broad structure of the journeys. So first one was August 1939 to April 14, and so on and so forth, right up to 1947. So this is again a gem. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I was just observing that we have a Kashmiri reading the part where Baba was in Kashmir. So
Absolutely. Yeah. Very.
This is divine intervention, and it can't be a coincidence.
I've got one idea. You know what I'm going to do? You know all these Kashmir places where he's been.
Uh-huh.
I draw them. I'll I'll use that place as a backdrop and put Baba inside there. Then I'll share those little paintings with you.
Lovely. That's a good idea. Like what you've done in your office, the photograph.
Yeah,
Yeah, lovely. Do that. That'd be nice.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll share
Maybe you
with
can
you.
use the pictures of Baba of that time. Try.
Yeah, that one
He
you
was
have to give me. Do
that
research.
age. There, yeah, it is there on the Meher Baba portal, trust portal. So we'll search out those period pictures and you can use them.
Yeah, that'll be. I'll do it.
Okay, so I'll share this high resolution map as well. They're all actually on the trust website, but I'll share them with you online on WhatsApp. Yep. Number 3.
Number 3. Okay. Concerning the entries labeled known as, those contacted in each place are usually arranged in alphabetical order according to their names. Where the name is not known, the phrase name not known is entered, and such contacts are generally put at the end of the list in each place. If there are several in a particular place whose names are not known, they are usually listed in chronological order according to the date of contact. A great deal of reliance should not be placed on the given name. This entry has been labeled known as because musts may be known by different names very often, indeed by nicknames. In other words, their real names, in the generally accepted sense of the word, are very often not known. In those cases where more than one name or nickname is known, this is given in brackets under the principal name. The significance of the name of many musts will of course be missed by those who did not understand Indian languages. In certain instances, however, the meaning of a particular name has been explained in the following way. There are, for example, 7 musts known as Lohe Wala Baba, which signifies literally Iron Man Saint. A nickname like this is often given to a must who conspicuously wears pieces of iron all over his body. When in the course of the description of such a must the word iron appears, it may be followed by the word lohe in brackets, showing that the word lohe means iron. And the inclusion of this word in this way is an explanation of why such a mast is known as Lohe Wala Baba. There are, however, many musts whose names are not explained at all. And in defense, I can only plead that this book is not a treatise on the languages of India. One of the difficulties of writing a book of this kind, and indeed reading it, is that almost every page strewn with words that are not to be found in the average English dictionary. Just as Greek and Latin are the traditional languages for the coining of the medical and scientific vocabulary, so the languages of the East are the traditional and most suitable languages for the coining of spiritual vocabulary. The Indian reader is probably aware of the correct pronunciation of most of the non English words and names used in the book, and probably aware also of what must appear to him the luscious attempt of the Westerner to pronounce many of these words.
Like Mathura,
Matra.
Jabbalpur.
Yes. Or Negapattinam.
Yeah, Kanpur.
Yeah.
And the other aspect of mirror image is his English, which we are struggling to
Struggling, exactly.
Since the vowel values are generally the most misleading in the transliteration of an Oriental language into the Roman script, the circumference accent has been used in the main text of the book, and this accent has been placed over those vowels that have a long sound. In this supplement, however, accents of any sort have been dispensed within the entry labeled description and have been used only in the entry labeled known as. In this entry, the long vowel has a horizontal line over them, and it should be understood that there is no special reason for the use of circumference accent in the main text and the horizontal line in this column of the supplement. Other than availability of type fonts, on this web edition, the circumference has been used exclusively throughout. The accent used in this row is one only. A circumference over each long vowel. Circumference has not generally been placed over these vowels that are followed by the letter H. Since such vowels are per se almost invariably long, the word Baba has also not been accented because its correct pronunciation is considered obvious and well known. As a rough guide to the reading of the names of this entry, the long and short vowels have following approximate values.
So just to
A
pause
short
you there, this is a circumflex accent. The one over the letter A is a circumflex accent. So he says
Okay.
that they have used circumflex accents to elongate the vowel in cases where it's not obvious. So in case of Baba, it's obvious. Everybody knows the word. So he's not used circumflex accent, but he's used circumflex accents in place names and more often in must names, and we should read it that way. And he's I think further giving some examples here. Yeah.
Okay, a short like you in the English must word must. O short O like O in the English word box. A with an accent
Yeah, I
long.
think you should read them together. The circumflex accent and the letter together. So A short in like the word must. The A with circumflex is like the word after. So
Would you
must and after.
Would you read this para, please?
Yeah, sure. So E, the short E is like the E in the English word bed. The E with circumflex, which is the long E, is the like the A or the like. That's a typo, I think. It's like E in the English word cave. So there's a long E sound.
No. He's just giving an example. When you pronounce cave, you say cave. So when you put that this thing
Circumflex.
that
Yeah.
symbol
Yeah.
circumflex on the top,
Yeah.
it means you have to pronounce it a bit longer.
Yeah. That's what it
Yeah.
means. That's what it means.
Yeah.
So this is a guide to explain each of the
Yeah.
examples. Yeah.
Yeah.
Each of the sounds. So short I
Okay.
is
Okay.
short I is like like I in the English word him, and the long I, which is circumflex I, is like EA sound in the word peace. So long I. So peace is like long, right? And likewise O box and long O is ball. So same O sound, but it's actually ball. So we are all not students of phonetics, but our kids will understand this.
Yeah, I think you're right. Cave was probably not the right answer.
E
It's the
sound.
heave.
Yeah.
Heave could have been a better example.
Good example. Yes. U, oo, boot, put, and boot, right? For the oo sound. Yeah. But again, typical British detail.
And this is
British.
how it is in the dictionaries also, right? The standard
Yeah.
dictionaries also
No, I'm
use
saying
this.
from a William Donkins perspective.
Yeah. Yes,
Typical
quoting it.
British detail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good. It's eye-opening.
Yeah.
They don't leave anything to chance, For us Indians, it's chalta hai. समझ लेगा.
Exactly.
समझ लेगा. Correct. इतना तो पता ही होगा. इतना तो पता ही होगा.
Yes.
इतना भी नहीं पता.
हाँ. तो तुमने आज तक पढ़ा क्या है?
हाँ,
In
मतलब
fact,
we will assume कि इंग्लिश का इतना मोटा बुक कोई लेके पढ़ना बैठा है तो उसको इतना तो पता ही होगा.
हाँ,
No,
बोलो क्या
he
पता
cannot be
उसका?
an illiterate fellow.
So
नहीं,
we
वो
are
बोलेगा
almost
भाई
out
तो
of
और कोई
time.
काम कर.
We are almost out of time. So I think we'll pause here. We'll continue. We will. So tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll read the orange asterisks for sure, though we might have read it when we did the supplement. So what we did when we were reading the earlier pages was when we encountered any place name and it was referenced as go to the supplement, we came and read this. So we saw Mastani Mai and so on and so forth. But we can read at least the important ones again. Let's do that for sure tomorrow. So I will stop recording. We can hang out for a bit and then continue from this page tomorrow. Yeah, after this, yeah.
Karthik, I'm going to send you something. Can you share it? I don't know how to share it.
Sure.
Huh?
Sure.